to figure out, okay, what I'm doing right now doesn't work. How can I change that?
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been able to do that without, number one, my spouse doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, me being willing to be like, in this season, traditional roles work.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need to learn right now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since I haven't had modeling
Mm-hmm.
of what it is that I'm trying to cultivate.
Mm-hmm.
And just reading words to bring it back to the original subject, just reading words on a page is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
The guidelines and the syllabus that Proverbs 31 gives me as a woman is helpful. But I can't let it be stress inducing.
Mm.
Because where I'm at right now is not, that ain't in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
You might be on one section of the syllabus, and that's what the Lord has for you to focus on.
I'm in semester 1 of freshman year.
No, I didn't even pick your major. What? I ain't even
declared
declared.
a major. I ain't even declared a major, and here we are thinking about, when did I graduate? December
Oh
2008.
my gosh!
This is 4 years from now.
Jesus, why are you sending out resumes?
I don't have a CV. I have
man.
nothing to put in a cover letter to submit to a man.
I love you using it. You referring to it as syllabus for some reason that hit. But what comes to mind, I love the analogy of people that the Apostle Paul gave when he was talking about like building a movement or people, building up people. He said, one man sows, another waters, but God gives the increase. Like that analogy of thinking about people as soil and what comes from their life as the produce.
I love produce.
Like the reason that stands out is because what you just described, all of those that Solomon packaged together in Proverbs 31, I think is the culmination of a lot of seeding and watering and nurturing. And with that, even in the natural, as you go out there and plant stuff in your backyard, you're going to learn how to recognize the seasons. It might not be time to plant this. It might not be time to water this much.
And in the natural, you'll know that how? Because of the soil in part.
Oh. And sometimes you got to do work to that soil. Man, you better stop playing.
You'll be able to go out there and touch that dirt and be like, you know what? This dirt is not hospitable to this, but it works perfectly for this. There has been not a single farmer on the face of the planet who has not had to learn that. Nobody, I don't even care if it's your family business. You need to not just go into that what's it called? That occupation. Just knowing. Oh, this is the way my dad did it and my granddad did it and blah, blah, blah. You had to still go in there and learn. You had to still go in there and put your hands to the dirt. You had to still go in there and put into practice the things that your father and grandfather and whoever else who passed it down to you did. And that's what I'm trying to say with Proverbs 31. You cannot just, even if you grew up in like a 2-parent home, you had grandparents that were married, you had all of this structural foundation of what it looks like to serve as a wife, a mother, etc., etc. None of that matters until you become a wife and you become a mother, because your soil is different than theirs. Even in the natural, the food that our parents were eating is different than the food that we're eating. The food that their parents were eating, different. They had to learn, and they had to bring those things together. Like, okay, I can take this, I can leave that, that doesn't apply. I can do this, I can use that, but I gotta tweak it. Mm-hmm. Like, in the natural, just the way that my grandmother cooked, I can't cook like that. Right. For a variety of reasons. And number one, because I can't eat dairy. Mm-hmm. So,
you got to cook based on your design.
I'm just saying, you can't be all those things. Because, and then if you were, he's basically describing, for lack of a better words, like a perfect woman. Mm. A nearly flawless vessel. Mm. What does the Bible say about perfection? Who's perfect? I'll wait.
The good father.
I'm gonna wait because y'all out here acting like. I over the course of my marriage have learned and am currently learning and will probably always be learning. I have to enjoy processes. Mm-hmm. Like nothing comes quickly. Mm. And even just learning how to like listen to my husband when he says, we're not buying this car right now. but I really want it. I really want this car and I don't understand why we can't have it right now. Everything is in place. We have the financing. We have all these things. Why would you say no? I had to learn to be okay with that because the Brandy of 2011 would have been like, oh, I'm going to just go get it by myself then. Yeah. Or I'm going to nag until you do it. Or I'm going to do one of 1,000 things. I don't know. I was very...
Yeah. But I got to speak to, if I can, like, you know, the part of Proverbs 31 that talks about her husband safely trusting her and there will be no lack of gain. Like, yes, I love what they were just drawing out in that interview. Yes, there's a Proverbs 31, but you mentioned this earlier. There's also growth that has to happen in a husband along those seasons as well, because the whole mutual submission thing, I had to learn to recognize when God was moving on you to bring something to my attention or to recommend something. So take the two, like purchasing the vehicles is a great example. First time early in the year, you came and was like, hey, like, we need a new vehicle. When we went there, we purchased a vehicle. The money just hadn't been handed over. And that entire drive home, I had zero peace about it. In hindsight, looking back, I realized that if we would have went forward with that vehicle, we would have been eating too much of our seed. Mm-hmm.
Eating the apple seeds.
Man, the second time around, you mentioned, hey, I found this vehicle and I think that you should get it.
I said you might like it.
Yeah, you know what words to use. It was great. But that's wisdom, though. That's wisdom. Because you know how to say things in a way where I trust you. But anyway, I heard some in the frequency of what you said, and the timing felt right. That's why I had peace about moving so quickly. But the me of 10 years ago probably would have heard the same you from the first time and not recognize what was underneath what you said, and that I could trust that it was likely Holy Spirit breathed in that time.
Yes.
That was a lot, but you feel me?
I do, yes. And I think that we both have, over time, learned how God speaks to each one of us. Mm-hmm. And we've had enough life to recognize, okay, she's saying something, and it resonates with me because I heard it too. Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of those. Mm-hmm. But we weren't having that at all in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And And to speak to what you just said, if you just come to the table with everything that Proverbs 31 lists that you should try to attain as a woman, that does not give your husband any room to be a house band. Because Proverbs 31, if it was all one person, can do it by herself. She don't really need to value what it is that a husband brings to the table, because she is proficient in stewardship, and she is able to take a little bit and multiply it. She is able to rear children. She is able to run a household. Where in there is she giving the opportunity for her husband to trust her? Where in there is she giving, I'm not talking about the scripture specifically. I'm saying the person who's trying to be this, all these things.
The person,
You are missing, you're potentially closing doors. You're potentially missing learning how your spouse communicates, learning how God communicates to your spouse about you. So that when he does say, we're not buying this car right now, you can't even hear the wisdom behind it, because you're like, but why? Like, I've already run the numbers. I know that this can work. I know that, you know what I mean? It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I think if I was too focused on that in the beginning, I think that I would have missed a lot of growth for me, and you would have missed a lot of opportunities to figure out how to be my husband.
That figuring out, Lord.
And then we're still figuring.
We still figuring. We tinkering.
Currently, we're still tinkering. We're under the hood of this car, like, man, this is a nice 67 Shelby Mustang GT. And
you in the garage tinkering. Yeah, but that, again, I think that speaks to how it's seasonal and it's over time, which lends, I think, more credibility to the statement that Solomon was not describing one woman, and it was not one snapshot. Real time, this is what this woman is doing. It's a culmination of seasons, growth, and multiple giftings that he just packaged in one woman. Now, again, there's a lot of wisdom in there, and so for certain seasons, I think it's important to take portions of that and pull out the precepts there for that season.
For sure.
And then grow. And then pull out more precepts and then grow.
God doesn't even gift people with a whole package of gifts. Because number one, and this is just me surmising all the information that I've gathered biblically over the years, because we're meant to work together, husbands and wives and the body. So if you have all of these giftings, where's the room for anybody else?
Yeah.
Starting with your spouse.
Yeah.
Where's the room for I'll speak just about you, my spouse.
Oh, Lord.
My husband is very forward, future facing when it comes to a lot of things that happen in our house.
Why are you smirking slightly when you said that?
I am not.
Okay. All right. It wasn't a smirk.
It wasn't a smirk. I am not. I'm very, what needs to get done right now. Dominique is like, what can we get done in 5 years? And I be like,
oh my God, but we need milk right now. Why are you talking to me about a 5-year plan?
I mean, and then to even expound on that, my husband be like, okay, I know we need milk. We don't need 3 milks. And I be like, I'm going to the store with the intention of buying 3 milks because I already know how my household operates. Mm-hmm. Which is why when you say I like the idea of not stuffing the refrigerator, mm-hmm. and I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad that you like that idea. However, that's not how our house operates. And I know for a fact that if I buy 1 milk, it's going to be gone tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then what? What are we going to do? Go to the store every single day? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's gas. That's time. That's logistics. That's money.
Yeah.
I'm buying 3 milks.
I got you. Maybe we can meet in the middle on 2.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
I get it completely. I get it completely. And I like this theme of like there being seasons. I don't know why, but
seasons and seasonings.
Yeah, what we're cooking is because you think about Thanksgiving. It's fine.
No, it's not to do with Thanksgiving. It's season. Anybody who cooks knows that when you season food, you do it in stages.
You do it in. Ooh.
You don't just throw all your seasonings in at one time.
You don't.
Because
what you do, girl?
They do different stuff.
Uh-huh.
Garlic, for instance.
Yeah.
If you overcook garlic, you're gonna make your entire dish bitter. Mm-hmm. Garlic goes in at a certain time, mm-hmm. depending on what you're making. Mm-hmm. Salt. Mm-hmm. Salt goes in at a certain time, depending on what you're making. If you put the salt in too early, mm-hmm. you're gonna draw moisture out and potentially ruin whatever dish you're making. Mm-hmm. But if you put it in at the end, mm-hmm. it's gonna linger.
Why do you? This is great that you know this.
And then you gonna cut that chicken breast and be like, "This is fan-freaking-tastic."
Well, you got the cooking part of Proverbs 31 down, so that's cool.
I mean,
you actually have more than that. I think, yeah, you have more. Anyway, but it's season, so take the milk. Which, by the way, I have you down for 2. I think we agreed. In the middle, it's fine. It's fine. But seasons. There were times where getting 14 milks, 3 orange juices, 5 loaves of bread to save time later and just not have to think about if we have it, even if we don't even use it, to just not have to think about whether or not we have it, mm-hmm. where that made sense. Mm-hmm. And then there are seasons where the deeper work that's happening is, how do I say how I'm thinking this? It's the principle of manna in the wilderness. It's a reason why he told them to go out daily. Mm-hmm. Not because he couldn't provide more than 1 day's worth, but it's because he was building in them the capacity to measure what they were consuming, mm-hmm. and to trust daily. Because I guarantee you, if you know that you have bread for 7 days, you're not going to wake up on day 2 and say, "Father, I lean on you for bread. I got that. You got that covered." Mm-hmm. And I think there's seasons where you need to learn how to cultivate that posture of measuring what it is that you're consuming and how much, and going to him for what you need.
100%, because that also breaks the chain of the poverty mindset, which is where that came from for me in the first place.
Tell me more.
I have never, well, you know how I grew up. Mm. The underlying theme that I was taught was, number one, if something's on sale, mm-hmm. you need to get more than one of those. Period. Mm-hmm. I mean, because stuff be like $5.99, and if it's on sale for $1.99, you at least need to get 4 of them, mm-hmm. and put them in the freezer.
Because you don't want to have it. You don't want to not have it.
You don't want to not have it. And it's on sale. You're saving money.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. Which is stupid anyway. Because if it's $1.99 and you're buying 5 of them, you're still spending the same amount of money. That's neither here nor there.
Or more than you would have spent.
That's neither here nor there. That. And this need to like hoard scarcity. I don't want to run out. I don't want to feel the discomfort of not having something when I go to the refrigerator. Like right now, my son is going to come downstairs and say, I need some cereal. And he's going to look in that refrigerator and see that there is no milk. And internally, he's going to be like, Mom, what is happening? Yeah. Why don't you never not have milk for us. You never not have ice cream when I want to have dessert in the nighttime. But I didn't have dessert last night, and there's no milk this morning. And that is going to translate in my mind, I have just dropped the ball. As a homemaker, as a parent, because I know what my kids like. I know how my household runs. Why would I run out of stuff? But it doesn't take into account what you just said. Measuring what you have and how you're consuming it. Had we done that, the pace at which we would have gone through these things probably would have changed.
That's real. Yeah, I feel that.
And
I feel that.
The lesson that we've been trying to teach him would have had a chance to
he would have been able to practice it in real time. You're not just consuming because it's there. You're thinking about, do I really want or need this?
Yeah.
And governing yourself accordingly.
Yeah.
And it teaches you here, even in the way that we describe it, like you just said as an example. Why would we use the phrase, I ran out of milk, instead of, I'm grateful that we used all that we had. And now we can go get more.
That part.
Automatically, just in how you even say the phrase, one way says poverty, not enough, lack.
Yep.
The other way says gratitude, stewardship, and trust. That was good. I felt like we hit a salah, and our kids are calling us. So may the Lord bless you and keep you.
So now you can turn your recording off.
Treated.
I know that you were recording the entire time.
I'm not recording anything. God bless you. I love you.